Hey guys, it's Siobhan with To Kitty and Beyond. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing horoscope readings for the month of November 2019, and this is for Sagittarius. So that can apply to Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I'll be doing the normal monthly spread from current self to advice and encouragement. And then I'm going to also pull some romance angel cards for a little bit more detail into love if you guys are interested in that. So keep in mind that these are general readings for the collective. If they don't apply to you, don't try to make them fit. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, so let's get into it. Sagittarius in November. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so Sagittarius, your current self energy, King of Pentacles. Theme of the month, Six of Cups. The key goal in November is the Justice card. The obstacle to overcome this month will be the Queen of Swords. The major accomplishment is the Eight of Swords. The issue to be avoided, Ace of Cups. Okay. What to embrace, you have the Strength card. Where to find support, you have the Seven of Pentacles. And last but not least, advice and encouragement, you have the Queen of Cups. Okay. So this is an interesting reading right off the bat. Let's get into it. So the current self energy, you're coming up as the King of Pentacles. So this is an energy of physical maturity, physical abundance, financial abundance as well. But I'm seeing this as you right now planning for the future. There's some kind of an investment that you're making. You are acknowledging the past and what has come before you, but you're at the same time looking forward to what you're building. You're building something. There's something that you have in your mind's eye that you're creating at a physical level, something that you are bringing together or something that you are working on. Okay. And this is to say that you have enough to invest, right? Because the King of Pentacles is very abundant. He knows what he's doing when it comes to his financial realm, as well as his physical body, his health, how to take care of others as well physically. So you have more than enough, and that's why you're willing to invest in this one particular area. So let's see what's going on with the theme. Theme this month is the Six of Cups. So this is something to do with the past and emotional history for you, possibly something from childhood or something from a past life, but there's memories coming forward, and we are currently from, October 31st till November 20th? Don't quote me on that, Sagittarius, but we're in Mercury retrograde for a fair amount of the month, so there is stuff that's coming up from the past. This could be memories, these could be dreams, these could be realizations that you're having about the past, or this is something that is allowing you to grow. So you're looking at the past, but you're planning for the future. So you're using these memories, this knowledge, or this childlike innocence, or lessons that you learned in your childhood to be able to invest in the future in a healthy way to build something new. Okay. So the key goal being the Justice card, this really comes down to finding balance and discernment in what it is that you're trying to create or what it is that you're trying to move away from. So there does seem to be a bit of a tug of war going on. There is a bit of back and forth between the different realms of thought and emotion as well as what you're creating at a physical level. So there's a bit of a balancing act, and the Justice card is the key goal this month because that is the overall energy of balance that needs to come from it. So there does need to be a weighing of the scales, but you can see that she's got her eyes blindfolded. So this is impartiality and judgment based on um, objective perspectives rather than biased individual perspectives. So, especially when you're looking at things from your past, there is a tendency to view them either worse or better than they were. So, this is kind of showing you the ability that you have within you, or to go to somebody else who has this ability to see that within you, or to bring new understandings to light, to show you that maybe you were seeing something and it's a bit different than it actually was, or you're remembering it incorrectly, or the emotion attached therein is not necessarily what you thought it was. So, whatever it is, there's something overall energy of November that's allowing you to see things from a unbiased, objective perspective, so that you can bring balance to whatever it was that was kind of throwing you off from one spectrum to the other. Okay, so the obstacle to overcome is the Queen of Swords. So this is exactly what I was just talking about. This is seeing it clearly for what it really was. She is looking to the left, which I always see as looking to the past. So again, there's something that you may not be thinking about as clearly as you thought you were, or you may not be remembering it as clearly as you thought you did. So perhaps there was a little bit of self programming that occurred here, and that's kind of an obstacle to overcome, right? So like if you thought that something was really really good in your past, and then somebody else points out to you, oh, but didn't this and this happen? And you're like, oh my God, I totally forgot about that. How did I block that out? Well, that is a coping mechanism that we do. We can repress, suppress, we can block things out, we can alter them in our memory so that they're easier on us. But at an energetic level, um, that thing or that feeling will remain in its base core self. So no matter how much we shift or dilute or change the memory, that feeling is still going to exist there. So the obstacle is to really, really get clear, crystal clear on what it was that happened in the past, or the relationships that happened in the past. This could be something to do with the father as well, because the King of Pentacles can be seen as a father figure, or a nurturer of some kind in the masculine respect. And the Six of Cups being from childhood, this could be something of a father-daughter or father-son dynamic from childhood. So the Queen of Swords is allowing you to see things from an unbiased, clear perspective, as well as justice, right? But the thing is that it is an obstacle. There may be resistance there. Your brain may physically not want to do that, or there's some part of your ego that doesn't want to see things for what they were, especially if perhaps you were at fault, or if there was something traumatic, that kind of thing, right? So sometimes we delude ourselves to protect ourselves, or we delude ourselves to try and build ourselves up. There's so many different ways that this could go, but whatever it is, it's coming up as an obstacle because it may be a little bit difficult to kind of push past some of those barriers that you've built for yourself. And that's exactly what the obstacle to overcome is, or sorry, that's exactly what the major accomplishment is that once you're able to grasp the sword and see things clearly, you're able to free yourself from this mental prison that you've created, because these are mind forged manacles. These are self created. All of these limitations, again, she's blindfolded. So the blindfold can represent two things. In this card, it represents self delusion, as well as self limitation or self sabotage. Whereas in the Justice card, it allows you to see things objectively and to come to conclusions out of an unbiased perspective, objectively, to help balance yourself and your life. So this is really important for you guys. There's a shadow and a light aspect to everything, and that includes ourself. So we do have to take our responsibility for where we're allowing that blindfold to fall on the spectrum between dark and light. So you can allow it to restrict you, or you can allow it to liberate you. You can allow it to plunge you into fear and self doubt, or you can allow it to um, force you basically to trust your intuition and to feel your way out of it. So this is something that is kind of a challenge for you guys, but at the same time, you are going to be able to do it once you just kind of sit down and reconcile with yourself that this needs to be done. So, what to avoid this month? You have the Ace of Cups. Now, this is interesting because Ace of Cups I always see as such a positive card. You know, it's this self love, filling your cup first. It's also an indication that there could be potential romance or partnership that is coming to you. I do see that more as the Two of Cups, but this Ace of Cups, what I'm seeing from it in this position, particularly in what to avoid, it is, again, you have the eye there, the all seeing eye and the phases of the moon. So avoid falling into those same old cycles of blocking out that eye, right? So you've got the blindfolds here, and now you've got your third eye awakening. It's not the problem that is here, or I don't like to say problem, the underlying thing that you're working on in November is not necessarily to do with your physical eyes and what you can see. This is more to do with your third eye and what you can know, what you can intuit, and how you can really feel into these issues or whatever they are from that perspective, from a much higher perspective. So embrace the turning of the wheel, the changing of the cycles, but at the same time, don't drop into old cycles. So be really aware, because that's what Mercury retrograde really gets us to do. Is that it's a reassessment time. We're able to look over all of these things from the past. Things just pop into our mind, memories that we completely forgot, and they may not have any relevance to what we were just thinking or doing, but all of a sudden there they are. Why is that? Okay, so why are these things coming up? Why are people contacting us from our past? Why are we still running these same old cycles? Because anything that you're experiencing in your life is ultimately drawn to you from what's going on inside your cup. So avoid um, avoiding basically, because if you avoid the issue, it's going to just reboot that old cycle. So avoid putting this off, avoid procrastinating about this. This is something that will take strength to do, but you do have that. And if you just set your mind to it and you allow this to just happen as a process very naturally, it's going to unfold exactly how it needs to. So what to embrace in the month of November, Sagittarius, is the Strength card. So this is very much about inner strength as well as outer strength. You've got the King of Pentacles here, which is very focused in the physical realm, but then you've got a lot of cards that are also talking about a lot of stuff that is happening in your mind as well as in your emotional realm. So this is bringing balance between those two aspects. A lot of the time we don't make the connection between the two. Things that happen in our physical life, or how we treat our body, or like the types of situations that we are in environment wise in our life, we don't always make the connection to how that was created out of our mind and our emotions. But everything is so intricately connected that each piece is just a part of the puzzle. And so they're all, this domino effect can happen. If there's something off balance in the mind, in the emotional realm, then it will reflect into the physical realm in the form of relationships, unhealthy habits, putting yourself in environments that are toxic, draining, or otherwise just not up to snuff with what you imagine your life could be potentially to inspire joy, creativeness, and fulfillment overall, right? So if you're feeling at all a sense of lack in any area of your physical life, then there's a chance, more than a chance, there's a good indication that there's some kind of an imbalance lying within the mental and the emotional realm. And those two are so intricately connected, like I was saying. So the Strength card here comes in for you to tame the lion. This is your higher self being able to sort of tame the beast within you, to quell that underlying fear at looking at these things objectively. So this is kind of a little bit of dissociation, but dissociation in the negative sense can be a poor coping mechanism for trauma or out of fear. But what I'm talking about with dissociation is taking yourself a step back from yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? If view your memories and your emotions and your thoughts completely objectively. Now, this is difficult. That's why the Queen of Swords is in the obstacle position. It's hard to do because we are such subjective creatures. We really experience ourselves as ourselves. So it's hard to sort of take that step back and look at things from a higher perspective, from an unbiased perspective. But that's the key here, is to be the watcher. It's to be the observer, not the experiencer. And that you can practice that in meditation. That's a huge, really powerful tool that is at your disposal should you choose to use it. And that's where that Strength card comes in. This is mental strength, self-discipline. That's a big one. Self-discipline here and consistency in your actions, both internally and externally. That's where you'll start to see results. And this is really, really helping you out in your future. So the work that you do this month is going to lay the groundwork, the foundation for a very abundant and stable future. There just needs to be a little bit of self-discipline as well as some objective self-awareness. That's really the key here. Now, where to find support is the Seven of Pentacles. So this is interesting that it's the only other pentacle card that you guys have in your reading. And this Seven of Pentacles to me is really about timing. So this is about continuing the process even before you start to see the results, you know? You're just having faith in the process and you're knowing that what you're doing is going to pay off. This is going to be worth it. It's difficult now. It's uncomfortable. It puts you into sort of an awkward position sometimes, but it's definitely worth it. So the Seven of Pentacles is saying, you know, just continue to put in the effort and you will be able to harvest the results. But it does take patience. That's the biggest thing here, is that self-discipline and self-awareness really takes a lot of patience. You've got to be patient with the process, and most of all, you've got to be patient with yourself, because there are parts of you that will resist. There are parts of you that will go kicking and screaming or dig their heels in against this, and that's completely normal. That happens. We all do it, but this is something that really kind of needs to be assessed. This is something that really needs to be invested in. There needs to be constant work put into this. And it's not just a 1 month thing, you know, this goes on for the rest of our lives. But the good thing is that it gets easier and we're able to harvest more often the better we get at it. So it is, again, an investment to keep up that forward momentum. And the advice and encouragement is the Queen of Cups. So this could be somebody outside of you who is advising you in a sort of a counseling type of role, or somebody who is encouraging you emotionally to really dig deep and to see um, these inner fractals of yourself and putting them all together again so that you can have this holistic understanding of why you are the way you are and how you can continue to move forward based on where you've been. So the Queen of Cups, this is an emotional type of person. This is somebody who's very sensitive. They may even be psychic. This can be an aspect of yourself that is helping you. Could be your higher self, your intuition that's really guiding you through this process, or this could be some kind of a guide in the physical sense, either a spirit guide or somebody in your life who you can really trust and rely on, and who will give you very very good advice and nurture your emotional healing. So, again, like a counselor, a therapist, a mother figure, this could be somebody who's just very connected to you emotionally, a best friend, somebody that you can rely on and trust their opinion. So, there is this person, this individual, or this part of you that is wishing the best for you, that is really trying their hardest and doing their darndest to see you thrive emotionally as well as mentally and physically, as we see within the reading. But she's holding the Ace of Cups in her hands, so you don't have to do this all yourself. It's okay to ask for support because this individual here is helping to support you. So whether this is praying to your higher self or your angels, or this is physically reaching out for support from loved ones, friends, or an objective individual, counselor, therapist, a spiritual guide of some kind, going for a reading even. It could be, who knows, if you feel called to have a personal reading that can really help shed some light on things, because it's a completely objective perspective on what you're going through, and it'll give you that new light on all of these old things that you've kind of been thinking about in the same way for so long. All right, Sagittarius. So interesting read. Let's get into the romance angel cards. Let's see what's going on specifically in the realm of love for Sagittarius in November 2019. Okay. So, oops, my little hawk feathers. There we go. Okay, so we have free yourself. Yeah, that seems to be a big theme for you guys, both in just, your own self-work as well as within relationships. It's time to take back control of your life. So these two cards really go well together. The unicorn is in a paddock, and this is you. You are the unicorn, and you've placed yourself in this mental prison. So the unicorn can stand up at any time and walk over those fences. It's really a mental trap. If you guys have ever seen the image online of an elephant tied up to a chair, or it was like a horse tied up to a lawn chair or something like that, and it's like the animal won't move because it's tied up. It thinks that it can't, and so it won't even try. But the key here is that you just have to do it, and then you realize, oh my God, I was really free the whole time. There was nothing restraining me but my own beliefs. Right? And so your beliefs are what's limiting you in the first place. You're not trapped. You are free, and you just have to free yourself. That's the key here. You're the one who holds the key to the bars that you've put yourself in, or the prison you've put yourself in. So now we have retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. So especially with the honeymoon card here as well, enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. This could be a really good time to sort of get away with your significant other if you are in a relationship. If not, then this is a really good time for you to do this yourself, to go maybe on a little vacation. It doesn't have to be, an expensive big thing. You don't have to go to Venice, Italy. You can just go, like, take a staycation and just retreat, take a little bit of time for yourself. And if you are in a relationship, then this is a good time to free yourselves, get out, go and do something, break free from your monotony, from the patterns of life that you've become very accustomed to or very comfortable in. This is a time to just kind of push yourself outside of the comfort zone, put yourself outside of the box, maybe go somewhere that's going to shake you up and give you these new understandings, right? Because when you travel, you experience things from a whole different perspective, or even if it's just a short trip, like a little road trip somewhere close by, you're still putting yourself in an unfamiliar environment, and that can really spark new epiphanies and ideas and understandings, or a reconnection in a relationship that was struggling. So if there are any imbalances within you, that may be reflecting in your relationship. So if you're having difficulties with your significant other, or with attracting a relationship, then there's a good chance it's because you need to do some of this self-awareness type of work, some self-healing. And again, if you need additional support. There are those out there who are willing to help you, to serve you in any way that they can. I'm one of them. I've got these readings, and I do tarot and Reiki. So Reiki healing is huge, huge, huge for this kind of stuff. It gives you the access to that higher power so that you can free yourself, liberate your mind, your soul, your everything, and get back to baseline of who you are so that you can kind of understand it from this whole new perspective, and rely on your loved ones, right? Take some time with them to really enjoy each other's company, to help each other, to free each other. You guys are a team. If you're in this together. It's not you two against each other, it's you two against the problem or the underlying block. So that's the key here as well, and having the strength to face those things together as a team, if you are in a relationship. Okay. I just want to get, so that's interesting. You've got the Seven of Pentacles again. So this is a major theme for you guys. This is from two different decks. It's the same card. So whenever that happens, it's a particularly important energy to be aware of for you guys, especially in the month of November. Now keep in mind that time is not linear, so this energy could have been affecting you for some time already, or it may play out as the months go on, but this is an energy to be aware of. So the Seven of Pentacles being about patience, planning, fortitude, perseverance, continuing to put in the work, having the trust and faith that it's going to pay off, that your work will be harvestable. This is an investment that you're making for the future. You don't plant a seed and tend the garden and then harvest the food on the same day. You have to continue the process and have the patience and the trust to know that it's going to eventually bear fruit. It's going to eventually be something that you can gain. So that's really important, and especially as it relates to the work that you're doing on yourself and the work that you're doing in the relationship. So that's important. And then the Six of Pentacles as well. So where you're giving and taking, where you're investing your energy, what are you giving back as well? So this is an energy of, once you are in this King of Pentacles position, or if you find yourself in this King of Pentacles position right now, because it is coming up as your current self energy, then you are very abundant. You have a lot to share, so give back. If you don't find yourself in an area or in a place of depletion, if you find yourself in a time and a space of abundance, then this is really the time to invest and to give back. Because when you give charitably, that is an investment. It may not feel like it in the moment, but it really truly is, because when you give, you open up the scales of balance, because give and receive are one and the same energy. They're just two different spectrums of the same polarity. So giving equals receiving, receiving equals giving. So when we have to give back. When we don't have, we have to receive. So that's that balance there. That's the impartial nature of the universe. It's the law of give and take. It is karma, in a sense. So this is very much about balance for you guys this month, and taking the time to address some of these underlying issues, to have the patience to work on them, to, again, balance those scales. Balance. That's really the theme for you guys this month, is to find that inner balance between what you have, what you don't have, and how you can create equality therein. All right, guys. Well, that is your reading for November 2019. Again, just take what resonates. Don't try to make it fit if it doesn't. I also recommend to watch your all three of your signs, so your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign videos on here, because that way you can get a better idea of the overall energy that's affecting you. And especially if you don't resonate with one of the readings, like your sun sign, for example, check your rising sign. I find that if I don't resonate with my sun sign, chances are good I'm going to resonate with my rising sign. Or if it's a particularly emotional month, then I will resonate with my moon sign, because the moon is very much about emotions. So, all right, guys, I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe if you'd like to see more of these types of videos. I also put out like spiritual chit chat videos and energy updates. stuff like that. I do lots of giveaways. And if you guys are looking for a little bit of additional support, you know, some intuitive guidance or counseling, spiritual healing, then please reach out to me as well. The information for my services and offerings is in the drop down list in the description box below. So just hit the show more button and it'll give you all of my services, offerings, and pricing, as well as how to contact me. Okay. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next month. Bye.